and welcome to the Have Knitting podcast. My name is Christy and it is so wonderful to have you joining me today. It's been 5 weeks. I'm so sorry. Life just got in the way. Hang on, I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit. And I'll just cut off the top of my head. Yeah, it's just, I don't, we had my mother-in-law stay. Sorry if I'm just shaking. Ugh. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah, we had my mother-in-law stay and that was good. It was a really busy family weekend, which is fantastic. My husband's brother and his family, or some of his family, because they've got an adult daughter, travelled up from where they live, and yeah, some other family came, and it was a really great weekend, mainly on the Sunday, Monday, because it was a long weekend. But yeah, it was super busy. And then I've just been playing catch up. I was tired. And yeah, so it's just, yeah, life just got on top of me. So I'm really sorry. I have missed you. I really have missed you. And so today I am determined to get this done. I don't know, it may not be up. It may not be available until midweek because I'm recording on a Sunday and I'm going to have to work around my husband going to work rather than just what I normally would do, which is upload it while we're out Sunday. But anyway, you don't need to worry about that. That's my department. Anyway, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be recording. I really don't know where to begin. It's been a long 5 weeks. Yeah, long. I haven't done a huge amount of knitting, which is a bit sad. And there's a reason to that. And I've still got a bandage thumb. There's a reason to that. I started Jamberry. Jamberry launched in Australia on the 1st of October, and I found out about it on the 2nd, I think. And so, yeah, I decided to join up. I've been a huge fan for a while and didn't even know they had plans to launch in Australia. I was just going, oh. It's one of those things where it's just never going to be here. And then all of a sudden they'd launched and I heard about it. I was like, okay, all right, well, I'll sign up. And so that's been fun. I'm wearing Berry Sparkler and Silver Chevron, in case anybody's wondering. And I will link to my Jamberry page in the show notes at haveknitting.com if you're interested in purchasing or want to know more or whatever. But yeah, so I've been enjoying that. The other day I was playing, I think I put some wraps on my 3-year-old or something. I found a new, I was introduced to a new app on the iPad called WordSwag, and it's like a graphic design kind of program, and you get free images. You can search for free images from the internet, not the internet, the internet, and then you do like graphic design logos and that kind of thing. And I've been loving it. I've been making up things like left, right, and center. It's been so much fun, and yeah, and so I did that. I did the WordSwag thing, I did some Jamberry stuff, and I did some knitting, and I cannot tell you how happy I was by the end of the day. It's just, give me the opportunity to be creative, and I just absolutely thrive. I love it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, because I've started Jamberry, I haven't had a huge amount of time for knitting, or well, I haven't had as much time as I would like, and I'm starting to learn how to juggle the two. So, and making more time for knitting. I've also been extremely tired. Extremely tired. So I get to the end of the day and I just don't have the energy to knit. So third term, which was the term before last, school holidays for those of you living in the Northern Hemisphere, was incredibly busy. We were out like pretty much every day of the week. I think I may have had one day at home. some weeks. And so I think we got to the school holidays. And the first week I was busy cleaning because my mother-in-law was coming. And then the second week my mother-in-law was here. I had all the kids home, and then my husband ended up really sick. And so he was home. So there's 8 people in my family, 7. I had 8 people and myself. Sorry, I just do the math slowly in my head. So I had an extra 8 people to look after than what I usually would do, like every single day. You know, like it's one thing to send my kids off to school in the morning and then they come home again at 3. I've got that break in the day. But when they're home from school holidays, I constantly have them. And I had my mother-in-law here, and I had my husband home from work sick. So essentially I had 8 times the amount of people to look after. Or maybe I shouldn't say that. 4 times, because I usually have at least 2. So I think we got to the end of the school holidays, and then, as I said, we had a really busy weekend, which was awesome. It was really wonderful to catch up with family again. And then I jumped into Jamberry that first week back at school, which was great. But so that was a week of intense kind of learning as I tried to learn about the product and start organizing myself in order to become a consultant and blah, blah, blah. And then, my oldest daughter went on a school, like a school camp excursion / whatever, to Canberra for 3 days. So they went back to school on Tuesday. On Wednesday, she had to be up at the school at 6, which meant we had to be up at 5:30 to make sure she got to school at 6. And then the bus broke down on the way home, so she didn't get home until almost 8 o'clock on the Friday night. And so I'm still playing catch up, and I'm still exhausted. And I'm having to remind myself at the moment that it's okay not to do everything, that it's okay to just go, right, I have no energy for knitting. I can't do that at the moment. I need to rest. Or, because even sometimes knitting just isn't, I mean, I love to knit, but sometimes it's not restful. Especially if I'm, you know, like it's one thing to just do a vanilla sock, which I don't have any of those on the needles. I probably should put one on the needles just so I've got something to do. But even like just the physical toll of actually knitting, you know, because it's still a physical activity, even if it's, you know, on, you know, the more gentle side of physical. So some days I just don't have the energy for it. And I'm having to learn that it's okay to go, I don't have to do this today. I don't have the energy for this today. Yes, I have these things to do, but it's not going to kill me if I don't do them. I have no time schedules. There are some things that I would like to get done before Christmas, but if they don't happen, then that's okay. It really is just okay. At the moment, the most important thing for me to do is survive, is to get through the next, like get through tomorrow and then get through the next day and all the rest of it. So, I mean, even I'm even at the point where just cooking dinner is exhausting, and I get to the end of the day and I don't want to do it, and I have no desire to cook, so I can't even menu plan very well at the moment because the desire to feed my family has gone. I mean, they're getting fed, but I don't have the energy for it anymore. So I'm currently in, and then, you know, starting Jamberry, because that was a super good idea, but it's going well and I am enjoying it. But I'm just in that whole place at the moment of I'm having to just only do as much as I can every day and leave it at that. So thankfully this term is far quieter and I don't have any major things on until we get sort of closer to the end of the year. And I can pick and choose essentially what I take on board at the moment, which is really good. yeah, so I'm hoping, we've just dropped something. We were doing, my 5-year-old was doing something on a Thursday, and we've just dropped that. No, sorry, Tuesday. And that's just been dropped. So I'm hoping the battle to get him to do this work every week, now that he's chosen not to do it for a while, I'm hoping that that means that gives me a little bit more brain space and a little bit more energy and a little bit more. I'm trying to find the positive in everything at the moment, you know, to just keep myself, what's the word I'm looking for? On an even keel kind of thing. So, yeah, so I'm trying to just see the positive in it all at the moment. So, and trying to, I just had a little epiphany, a mini epiphany, that, you know, term 3, it took a massive toll on me, and it's probably taken a massive toll on my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old and my baby. But for each of us, it looks different. And I know how I feel because it's me, but my 5-year-old may not be able to articulate as clearly what he's feeling. So anyway, you all really needed to know all of that, didn't you? So anyway, hopefully over the coming weeks, I can sort of get back into the groove of knitting and get back into finding that therapeutic rather than, I mean, I'm still knitting, but, you know, like getting back into finding that deep joy, deep sense of achievement and joy when I knit. When I have the energy to do it again. The good thing is that my craft group has started up again. So that started back the week before last. So the first week I was working on a monkey, I think that's what I was doing. Yes, first week I was working on a monkey. Last week I went back to embroidery, but I've lost my reading glasses, so I don't know. I cannot find them anywhere. So, but I'll probably continue to do my embroidery while I'm there, because it's about the only time I actually, well, it gets any love. But generally speaking, I go to my craft group on a Thursday and I do minimal crafting. I'm spending more time talking to people than I am actually crafting. So there are a few times when I've gone, so I think the first week even I walked in and I said, what's the point of me even coming if all I do is talk? And somebody said, well, that's just as important as the actual crafting. And she's right. She's right. So, yeah, anyway. Again, more ramblings. But yes, so I'm hoping that I can be a little bit more crafty as we get closer to Christmas, and things will slow down but also speed up in some regards. Like I said, I've got some things on, I don't have some things on. My 5-year-old starts transitioning to kindergarten this week, which is a bit scary. I'm so excited for him. I think he's going to have a ball. He's really ready for school. He's a bit scared, and I'm a little bit scared too, but I know that he's going to have a huge amount of fun. So that starts up this week, which is super exciting. I think it's like 2 hours. I really should just take along a sock, because there's a parent session, and I've heard it all before. This is kid number 4 going through school. So I probably should just take a sock and sit there and sit up the back with the baby and the 3-year-old while I try and keep the 3-year-old entertained and knit. That's a brilliant idea. I'm going to do that. So I think I'm going to knit myself some vanilla socks. No, like honestly, I'm shaking my head, but honestly, I think I will, because then I don't have to think, I don't have to count, I can just knit. And I might do some self-striping ones, and that would be wonderful therapy. Wow, I wonder if I can pull it off. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. And thank you for bearing with me for almost 15 minutes of talking about me. I hope, and funnily enough, I probably should do that because it's my podcast. I hope that you are keeping well wherever you are in the world. We have had weird weather recently. If the lighting starts doing funny things, it's because it's coming, like, there's some rain coming across, I think. If you look out the front window, it's like black almost, you know, like really dark grey clouds. And it was blue out the back before, but it's now kind of grey. So if the lighting starts to go weird, it's probably that. They're not forecasting thunderstorms, so I don't think we're going to hear any thunder. I tried to record last weekend and there was a thunderstorm. And that was fun. But it wasn't last weekend, it was the weekend before, but I was just too tired. Excuse me. I rambled for about 20 minutes about nothing. I rambled about needles for about 20 minutes and then I just gave up because I was too tired. It wasn't making any sense. So better for me not to record than ramble and sound like a crazy lady. So let's talk knitting. And I'm not gonna, I was gonna do a review on needles, but I'm not gonna do that. Well, I'll just talk about the needles as I go. How about that? Sorry. I get in front of the camera and I turn into Crazy Christy. Or maybe I'm just like that all the time. Okay. So let's start with my Surrey Hills cardigan. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just gonna, no, I can't pull that out. Let's put that there, on the end there. Sorry. I've been binding off. And the bind off has gone funny. Okay, so this is where I was around about where I was last time, because the progress keeper thingy stitch marker thing fell off a couple of times. And I put it on the wrong place the first time. But anyway, that's where I'm up to. So, well, that's where I was up to last time. So it's about halfway up the back. And so since I last spoke to you, I've made really good progress. I have finished the right front and I've done the bind off. Now, it's a free pattern, so I'm not giving anything away. You're supposed to have 56 stitches left on the needle when you finish the bind off. I have 57, not counting this one at the end. So I think I'm just going to bind off or knit two. I think I might just knit two together here. And I don't know how I've done that. I seriously don't know how I've done that. Or maybe I do. I think I've picked up an extra stitch somewhere. Or maybe not. If you can see if I've picked up an extra stitch, come and tell me in Ravelry, because I want to know. So that's my 3-needle bind off. Not that you can really see it. And if you can pick up an extra stitch, then you are amazing. So, and I don't think anybody is going to tell. Everybody's going to be coming along looking at my 3-needle bind off going, ooh, there's an extra stitch picked up there. Actually, I think I can see where I've done it. Anyway, so yes, anyway, so that's good. So the right front is done. I think I will go back and see if I can find that extra stitch now. But yeah, so the right front is done. So obviously it'll just be the left front and and it'll all be done. Well, no, actually it won't, because I've got a stack of stitches to pick up. And that is my least favorite bit of knitting. And I keep choosing patterns with picked up stitches. Sorry, I started Wispy a couple of years ago in this lovely dark tealy green colour. Lace weight, absolutely beautiful. I've sewed up one sleeve and I just need to sew up the other sleeve. But do you know why I haven't worked on it in about 2 years? No, it's only been a year, because it was when I was pregnant with Judah. And the reason why is because of all the stitches I've got to pick up. See, mental breakdown in my head. I can't think straight anymore. I can't even put together a sentence. I've been saying the loopiest things to my husband, like just rearranging words inappropriately in sentences. And he just laughs and goes, I love you. I don't want to do that anymore. I really don't. I need sleep. I love my baby. I love him so much. He's 7 months old. He was 7 months old last weekend. But he needs to sleep through. He needs to give poor mummy a break. And we're giving him a bottle at night too, so I don't always have to get up to him. And you would think that he would, you know, have one bottle, you know, at 10 or whatever and not wake up again. No. He still wakes up at 4. If we give him a bottle at 10, he'll still wake up at 4 for a bottle and he'll drain the whole thing. Oh well. He's a hungry boy and it shows. He's got those really chubby little thighs. I love them. I may as well just enjoy it. He's my last baby. Anyway, so that's done. And yes, I am loving it. And it's still looking good. And it's still an easy, fun knit. I haven't worked on it since Actually, I think I finished binding off the shoulder last weekend. And I haven't touched it since. So, I've just got to get stuck back into that. Sooner rather than later. And that's in my Jibby Rousseau's bag. My coffee bag. I wish it smelled like coffee. Every time I pick it up, I think it should. And then I could just inhale the caffeine fumes and live on that. So, oh, that came out of there. So, let's talk about needles. I've been knitting them on these Addi Lace needles. This fell out of the back. Now, it's got, I think it's a brass tip. And these tips are a little bit grippy. And I don't like the way they smell. They smell like brass, I guess. And I don't like, so sorry, I'm looking outside because I'm wondering if it's raining. I can hear stuff on the roof. We've got a tin roof, so you can hear if it's raining. I don't like the smell of brass. They're quite pointy. And yeah, I don't mind these needles, but they are certainly not my favourite. I did buy, and I don't think it's here. I did get some Knit Pro Carbons, which I use for my 3 needle bind off. These are interchangeables. I do not like interchangeables, especially these ones, probably because I haven't used the little screwy thing to make sure that the join is nice and like it's been screwed on nice and tight. But even then, it still bugs me. Like I find, because I'm a tight knitter, I've quite often found that even when they're screwed up quite tightly, I still get yarn caught in the little grooves where the join is. And I hate having to check my knitting every couple of rows to make sure that the needles aren't unscrewing. But these needles are absolutely amazing to work with. I reckon they're actually pointier than the Addi Lace. Let's see, can we do a comparison? To my finger, the carbons feel pointier. And the camera is not going to focus. Okay. Admittedly, the little tip here, it's not as long as it is on the Addi, but the tips themselves are just as pointy, if not pointier, than the Addi Lace. And the carbons, I had somebody say to me she didn't like the carbons because they felt heavier. I don't think they do. I think they feel the same. She said they felt clunkier and they were noisier. I think these are a little bit noisier than these, but I think it's just a different noise. Does that make sense? So I've bought, they're so expensive though. That's the only downside. Well, I mean, other than the fact they're interchangeables. The other downside is that they're quite expensive, but I bought 3 because I want to knit my Surrey Hills cardigan in them, and that was a saga. So I've ended up with 3 of the tips. So I'm using them when I can. But they are absolutely delightful to work with. And I really do like them. If the higher sharps, which I don't have, I've been knitting my real scarf with those. They are the best out of all of them. I really, really, really love the higher sharps. They're metal. I love metal tips. As I said, I'm a really tight knitter. So if the needle itself is grippy, then it just makes my work just that little bit harder because I'm so tight. And they're just really lovely. They're nice and sharp. They're nice. They've got a really lovely, nice taper to them, and they're beautiful to work with. So my favorites are higher sharps. My second favorite would be these, and this is my other second favorite. This is the new, well, I mean, they may not be new. They're new to me. New to me, Knit Pro Zing. I was just part of a swap, and these are fixed. I was just part of an Australian alphabet swap. So it was limited to Australian residents. And the letters were V, W, X, Y, Z. So for Z, I got Zing needles in one of my favourite colours, which is currently teal. I've gone from being a pink only girl to being teal and mint and pretty much anything green with pink, you know, kind of down there. I still love my pink, as you can tell by my nails, but I'm loving the green. So these are 3.25 millimeters, and I've been using these on my monkey, and the cord is just really lovely. I like the cord. I love the needles. They're beautiful to work with. I would buy more of these. So these are the Knit Pro Zing needles. So there, yeah. Anyway, so those are all my thoughts on needles, if you were wondering about them. I'm happy to try anything and everything because I'm just interested in how they work, and anyway, and I will stay away from, I tend to stay, now that I know that wood needles are a little bit grippier, because I used to think they were the greatest. They were the absolute bomb. I even bought one of those tiny little short, like 20 centimeter needles with bamboo tips. Oh my goodness, I was insane. I'm knitting socks on them, and I'm just about giving myself RSI. It was insane. And that's because the bamboo, although it's lovely, is grippy and just gripped that, you know, gripped the yarn and made it just that much harder to knit with. I possibly would try knitting them again, knitting with a 9-inch circular again with metal tips, but I wouldn't buy it. Like, I would need somebody to give me the needle to try before I actually, so, you know, rather than purchasing. Does that make sense? I'm not going to spend spend money on something that I may or may not like, considering my last experience almost gave me RSI. Anyway, so I'm going to show you next I'm going to show you, for those of you that are new or just wondering, on the podcast or in the group, I am running Surrey Hills Knit Along. Oh, and I should have told you where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry and Pinterest, and there's a group on Facebook. All the places as Have Knitting. I'm everywhere as Have Knitting. Hang on, sorry, I'm just trying to find a picture of the pattern. So I am hosting a Surrey Hills cardigan knit along. That's just, I mean, obviously it's black and white. It is a free pattern, and it's gorgeous. It's a lovely lacy cardigan. I love it. I swatched once and my swatch was too small, and I swatched with Addi needles. So I went and bought the next size up, and then I swatched again, and this is what I've got. I swatched again, and I thought, oh no, my swatch is too big, because it looked really loose, and then I didn't block it. I just sort of guessed, and I think I was still a couple of stitches out of gauge. But my swatch was, because I'd been trying to knit it while I was tired, I stuffed up the stitch pattern in a couple of places. So I think I'm just going to do a smaller swatch with maybe 2 or 3 pattern repeats. Instead of, I was trying to do a larger one with just, I think I had 3 or 4 pattern repeats, or 3.5 or something. So I may just do another one just with 2 pattern repeats. I know that's probably not enough, but just to give me an idea about, what's it called? About the fabric that I'm going to get and everything, and just go off that. But yeah, so that's, if nobody is participating in this, not even me. So, you know, if you want to join in and you think, oh, it's already started, I don't have enough time, just join in, because this is going to be the cardigan that goes on forever, as far as I'm concerned. So that's my Cascade Heritage Cascade Ultra Pima in the Cool Mint colorway. And it's a lovely summery color. Look, oh, my nails go so well with it. oh, now I've got to knit it because they look so good together. Crazy Hour with Christy. I should rename this podcast. Seriously. It is Crazy Town. But yeah, so anyway, I will get that underway at some stage. And if you want to join in the knit along, really just join in, please. There's no pressure to perform. There's no pressure to be finished at any time. It's just knitting along with somebody else because I don't want to do it by myself. But anyway, so that's that. Yeah, I did do a ton. If you're wondering about my real scarf, which I did mention earlier, I've done a little bit. When my mother-in-law was here, I was feeling a bit down and tired and blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting on the couch, thinking about, you know, I was just thinking, about knitting and how much, actually, I was just sitting and thinking. I was sitting and thinking about how much I really wanted to knit, but I was feeling really tired and a bit sorry for myself and blah, blah, blah. And so I just decided to, I'm sitting there and like looking at my table with all my projects on it. And I went, you know what, I just want to work on something that's not for me. So I worked on Reel for about, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. I did a couple of, maybe not even that. And I felt so good afterwards. It is so nice to knit for somebody else. To intentionally put aside anything that I'm feeling and focus on somebody else. And I felt so good afterwards. I stopped feeling sorry for myself. And I felt really positive afterwards. So if you haven't done that before, if you haven't experienced that before, I highly recommend knitting for other people because it gives you the feel goods. So anyway, so my Surrey Hills, not Surrey Hills, because it's not started, is in my, what's it called, people? Anna Green Gables, or it's called Green Gables, not Anna Green Gables, but Anne is there. Green Gables bag by Little Skein in the Big Wool. And hopefully, you know, I am quite honestly tempted to finish my Shetland Shorty and then start on that. So if you really want to do the Surrey Hills cardigan, if you really want to participate in that, you may just come in because it might just give me the beat up the backside that I need to get started on that. But otherwise, I might just finish off my Shetland Shorty before I start on that again. And then I've got one project out of the way rather than... Is that okay with you? I feel like I need to ask. Are you okay with that? If I just finish off my Shetland Shorty first? If you want to join in the knit along, dead set, that's so Australian, isn't it? Seriously. Seriously, I will come and knit with you. Honestly, I will. But if nobody is going to participate, just put your hand up. Go into the Surrey Hills knit along thread and say, I'm going to knit this with you, Christy. And I'll go, fantastic. Let me start my swatch again. But if nobody says that, I'm going to finish off my Shetland Shorty. Do not feel obliged to not do the Surrey Hills because of what I've just said. If you want to do it, I want to knit along with someone. Does that make sense? I did have a friend knitting along with Emma, but she didn't like the fabric she was getting, or she didn't like the yarn, or the yarn wasn't working with the pattern or something, so she gave up. And I think she's gone back to the drawing board in terms of finding yarn, and she's been knitting other things, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay. But you know, this is about being kind to myself as well. So, and putting limits and making sure I finish things. But I love the accountability of a knit along. So if you want to knit it, come and tell me because I'll knit it with you. I don't think I can say that many more times before I just sound like a lunatic. Oh, and here's my pineapple cup. And you know, my husband still thinks it's ugly. And I did offer him to buy him one. And he wasn't impressed. And then I showed my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and they agreed with my husband that it was ugly. I love it. This is the best thing. I want to go and buy a whole bunch of them. I do. If you think it's ugly, don't tell me. Or you can. It doesn't change the fact that I love my pineapple mug. Okay, so, monkey. I have worked on my monkey a little bit. I haven't finished stuffing the body. So this is it. I finished the legs. I've attached it to the little body. And that's the back. I'm not particularly happy with this seam that I've got going on. I think that's happened with any of them. If any of you have any tricks, I mean, I probably could have eased it better. You know, like easing the fabric. So it all kind of, but I didn't. Anyway. So that's the back. And I've got this stupid thing here. But I'm not going to go back and fix it because it's for a 3-year-old. And the dress will cover the back. And to me, I'm now scrutinising that and going, that's unprofessional knitting. Is that an Australian thing? Please tell me. Curl your hair and brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. I honestly hope you did not hear what I just heard. My boys are just out there. Anyway. Oh dear. I'm so glad you people tune in for Crazy Town. Oh, now the baby's awake. It's all good. It's a good day. So yes, anyway, so that's my little monkey. So that's that. I think I've shown you the face. But if not, here's her little head. Isn't she gorgeous? Yeah, I have showed you that because I was not particularly happy with it. The nose is not central. Oh, I am such a perfectionist. It's going to drive me crazy. Anyway, so that's her little face. And now you're all going, you're crazy. It looks fine. What are you worried about? Probably not quite like that because I don't think you sort of sing-song along like I do. Because I'm crazy. And these are the little arms. So the arms have been knitted. Here are the arms. But yeah, I've obviously got to stuff them and sew up the tops and everything. So hopefully the next time I see you, I may have actually finished the body. I did start on the tail, but my darling children got into my knitting on Saturday morning because I was silly enough to leave it on the couch thinking that they would leave it alone. And they didn't, obviously. So, yes. But, yes. Anyway, so I've just, I mean, that's not hard. It's just, you know, a long rectangular sort of thing, I think. Chibi thing. So it won't take long to do that. All right. So that's my works in progress. Well, most of them. Yes. If you want to do the Surrey Hills Knit Along, let me know and I will go back to swatching. Honestly. Do not feel like you're pressuring me. I need people to help me stay accountable to my knitting. Okay, so exciting things. Exciting things afoot. My friend Emma has started selling beautiful project bags on Etsy. The name of her shop is Knitter's Friend. She has been kind enough to donate this beautiful, beautiful project bag. It's a zippered one. I will open the zipper. It's got a little pocket inside. See, there's a little pocket. It's got a lovely strap to put on your wrist so you can hook it to your pram like I do or wear it on your wrist or however you want to hold on to it. It's got this lovely little ribbony thing here too for whatever you want to use that for. You could put a D-clip on it and hang it to your purse. You could, because I probably would think of that, obviously, because I did. I should stop while I'm ahead. Anyway, this is really, really beautiful. So my friend Emma, Knitter's Friend on Etsy, has donated this to the podcast to give away. And not just that. Oh, I've got to pull it out. She's also included this lovely little pink bag with a little lolly in it or a sweet or whatever you want to call it because it's different in every single country. And a very cute little pink stitch marker. Oh, teapot. Teapot. Oh, heck. It's gone funny. Little teapot. Pink teapot stitch marker. So Emma is giving this away on the podcast. So In order to be in the running for this beautiful bag that I will send to you with these lovely little goodies, you need to be a member of the group, and I want you to come and tell me what your favorite knitting project is. So the thing that is currently on your needles that you are just loving every moment of. So whether it's a pair of socks or a cardigan or whatever. I mean, it could be something that you're knitting for somebody else and you love it because you're knitting it for them, or it could be a particular sort of sock pattern that you're knitting and you just love it because the pattern's awesome or the yarn's awesome. Whatever it is, whatever your current project is, or one of your current projects, if you're like me and you have more than one on the go at a time, come and tell me. I will open up a thread in Ravelry. So yes, so you need to be a member of the group, and I want you to tell me what your current favourite project that you're working on is. Okay? And that's it. That's it. Thank you for tuning in. As I said, you can find me on Ravelry as Have Knitting. There is a group called Have Knitting. And my blog is also haveknitting.com, and I'm on Instagram as Have Knitting because I generally have knitting. Yeah, so I hope you have an awesome fortnight. All things going according to plan, I will be recording again in a fortnight. Yay! And hopefully I'll have some more knitting to show you, because hopefully I would have managed to get some more done as I get on top of everything and recuperate from all the craziness. And everything. And yeah, I hope you're keeping well wherever you are. And yeah, happy knitting, and I'll see you again soon. Oh, actually, change that. Happy crafting, because I don't care what sort of craft you do. If you're enjoying it, that's awesome. Whether you're quilting or paper crafting or quilling or whatever it is that you do, have fun doing it, because I know that I do. It makes me happy. Makes me happy in here. Like, I can't. Here I go rambling again. Okay, anyway, I'm going to sign off. I hope you're all keeping well, as I said, and I will see you again in a fortnight. Bye!